a drone. The new chip that you put in destroys the ability of the soul to come face to face with its life lesson. And the people who control the people now have a better drone because he can't offload that. He has no feeling anymore. That would have given him a touch with nature. His disease signature is his correcting process towards equilibrium. You remove that from him, there is no contact, no empathy, no sympathy. He can kill on contact without any feeling. So you have a robot. So yes, all diseases, essentially, which is a good question, is basically how we have conditioned matter and how, based on our experience, we take the experiences in matter and condition it as a chemistry within us.
So it's not a vibrational force. You're saying it's predetermined through protein.
It is. It's vibrating on a very high frequency.
But it's crystallized, hasn't it?
But it crystallizes through the instructions given to the genetics. And the genetics now broadcast that to the body, and now the mind controlling the vehicle now must conform to that physically, but then are you raised up enough to compensate so that it doesn't become an impediment? It just shows what your life lesson is. And if you take it with all humbleness or humility, allow it to purge, like the person purges themselves of cancer by dying. So what? You come back, if that's what you want to do. But the feeling of, oh my God, you're dying, you're suffering, and we're hurrying up, we're going to get this cancer vaccine, we're going to help the poor children, look at the poor children. This bullshit sympathy is what's keeping us locked down in the paradigm. Because each person, each child, each one comes back with the signature of experience that is relative to their own awareness and their own evolution in life.
So with Ray Charles and
Stevie Wonder, yes.
Does that apply in their situation?
Yes, that's their choice to come back. But to see, they came back, and based on what they came back with, remember, say they came blind. To come back blind or be stricken blind means somewhere in the other life, something so horrible, something so fearsome to the psyche and the experience, blind you. Something that could have happened that you did to someone else, that you blinded them.
Whether you're born with that or
Whether you're born with it or not, there is no innocence coming back. Remember, the original sin was creation. There is no original sin done by us. The original sin was to allow for the environment for the Most High to interface with itself. Yes, beloved.
All of this coincides with time, right?
It coincides partially with time and space, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But time is relative to the fact, oh, is this mine, beloved? Or is, oh, thank you so much. Oh. Woo! I love pomegranate too. Oh. Yeah. Thank you, sister. Question.
Because I was reading a book about time.
Yes.
This young man wrote.
What did it say?
And he had got involved in the same topic that you're speaking about, but he was talking about it because he had studied time all his life. That's all he did. And he got into a real deep thing of times, the universe, different galaxies. He got into the whole timing of it.
Okay. Time is based on frequency dynamics and vibrational dynamics. Time to us is not time to those vibrating on higher frequencies. Time is relative to the consciousness perceiving itself within that relativity. So on the fourth dimensional or fifth dimensional frequencies, time has a whole other relative space-time continuum and space relationship to the observer. And here's what here's what we forget about time. There is no time if there is no observer. And that's the secret of escaping space and time. The problem with meditation is that we get caught up forgetting that the observer is the one making the decisions, even though the body thinks the thoughts are the ones doing it. The observer is the one that gives us our spatial relationship to everything else. And that observer within ourselves is what sets the contexts and the syntax of time and space. So the observer now creates its own perception of time, because now, by its experience within its spatial relationship, the observer, the observation, and the observed become separate things. So there is an observer, there is the observation, and there's the observed. Well, the observed now, from the observer, gives the observation. But is that observation based upon a duality matrix where you make a judgment? Once you make a judgment, it fixes you to that thing. So, I'm looking up, and I used this in my last classes, if you there saw the last things. I'm looking up, and I have never been in this reality before. And I'm seeing this thing is doing this and staying aloft. Now, there's a movie you got to see with Jim Carrey. They took it out and got rid of it real quick. It's the something of the spotless mind. Oh. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Check it out. The spotless mind that has never seen and experienced anything before has no definite definition of reality. And it is our definition and defining of reality that gives us space-time relationship. If I do this, if I'm looking up and I see this, what's the first thing you think of?
Bird.
Yeah. If you see this thing doing this, the first thing you think of is what? Bird. No, you think bird. You're looking at the thing on the ground, you see it flipping around and gets up and flies, bird. You teach your children, bird.
Yes.
Dog. Horse. Fly. They're none of these things.
Yes.
They are descriptions. And what happens when you define that thing? It becomes fixed. Exactly. But what does it do? Yes. Well, what is it? It limits you. Why does it limit you?
You're locked in.
You fixed a definition on the thing. And what happens is you now have defined the experience. So the pure experience of what you observed now with a name completely destroys the experience. There you go. The self-definition is lost. You're way ahead of me.
Unless.
Oops.
Unless.
I remember that voice.
Unless you do the same thing and you let them know, because we're dealing with language and you're teaching the children, people need language to function in this reality. But if you at the same time say, they call it a bird.
Oh yeah.
What do you call it?
Mm-hmm.
Or what can you say? What do you want to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
You may not even have to name it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, letting them know so that language is still being
Experimental.
no,
But it doesn't use to cement.
you're still learning.
Yes.
You're still growing with the language, but at the same time, you're not putting the parameters, you're not putting these parameters.
Right.
around